Well, so there you go. So that mound of composted stuff over there, I dug it out and I put it in that raised bed. So the next earth moving project is to dig this out, clean it up a bit, put some of that dirt in the raised bed, and use some of the concrete garbage over there to fill up a hole here. And then figure out a way to either pour some concrete, make a platform, or level it out and put some more of these deck stones down. Just want to get rid of this eyesore. Maybe the easiest way is just to dig a pit and throw that stuff in it. Then figure out how to cover it up with some kind of inexpensive decking. Yeah, so it's February. It's a pretty attractive day. I just can't tell you how much I like the weather here in the Silver Coast region of Portugal, somewhere between Lisboa and Porto, near the coast. Yeah, so my friend Tamara, who's the partner of an old friend of mine, Matt, she they visited last year, and she's a master gardener. Gave me some ideas for what to do in this space, my little Roman courtyard. The idea is to stucco that, just make it a little more attractive. I want to put another deck down here so you can sit by the farmhouse and just have this unobstructed view down there. Pretty nice. Yeah, so I like that. So I bought the book I spoke about in that other video when I was riding my bike. Here are the leaves. Tamara said that it's great stuff for composting down. I'm just using it partially as filler. There's some composted stuff at the bottom and some cardboard, and then there's some dirt, and then I put a layer of leaves, and then I'm going to put some more dirt on top of it and another little layer of leaves, because there's a lot of space there. You can see there's like about 2 feet to be filled. So at the top I'm going to mix in some compost, and then that should be good to go for daikon and Brussels sprouts. Yeah, so I'm started reading that story paradox book. It's sounding very interesting, and he's basically saying that we're homo fictus, because we're storytelling animals, and we use stories to sway each other's opinion, to get people on our side, to develop culture, all these really important things. So back a while ago, they used to say that, change the narrative. If you want to change the world, change the narrative. Easier said than done. Yeah, but that's what we do. I mean, I used to work in business consulting and also the PR and advertising side of things. So I know a lot about that. Yeah, it's a good job, pays well, but yeah, it can be very evil. So all of us are like, if we don't pay attention to the stories that we're listening to and believing in, um, we run the risk of, you know, letting it control us. And the stories don't have to be truthful at all. You know, they're just fictions. David Icke, lizards from the fourth dimension, controlling everything, QAnon, on and on and on. So whatever populist wannabe dictator you think is cool, you know, they have their spin, their stories. Usually, for some people, it's only just to Clementina's coming along. You know, it's just to control people so that you can get what you want. It's not really about the truth or anything. Have a little bit of orange juice with some banana. There's your pear trees. Yep, you only need a few. Yeah, so I find it interesting. It's nothing new for me to think about these things, but it's good to get somebody else's take on it, who's thought it through, who's a story expert. And hopefully we can come up with stories that are less destructive, less dangerous. You know, the whole Nazi story, that old, age-old story about the Jews being the bad guys. Boy, oh boy, you see what that kind of story can do, right? And it's still going around today, as potent as ever. And it's destructive as ever. People get motivated to go take their AR-15s out and shoot people. And this is bad. So, before I left Hong Kong, they had the pro-democracy protests. They were angry about a lot of things. I won't go into it. And it's a hot button issue like all these things are. And you could just see the stories developing and spinning out of control. And I was thinking, oh my God, nothing good is going to come from this because it's not going to work. These particular tactics and stories aren't going to work. They're not going to get what they want. And it was sad because I could see freedom. I could see the unique character and beauty of the Hong Kong culture, you know, this city-state. I mean, 7 million people, that's a pretty big city, but, still, small little area, small little place in the world. And it just fell apart. I was thinking, well, I don't want to be in a cluster of millions and millions of people. The Guangdong region of China, the Pearl River Delta, is full of tens of millions of people. And it's a big factory to make cheap stuff. It's a labor arbitrage play, or it has been for a long time. But that's changing as China moves up the food chain into services and technology and so on. But America needs its cheap shit. Somebody's got to make it, right? So whose fault is that? Anyway, I won't go into that one. But what I wanted to say was I didn't want to be in a cluster while things are changing seemingly so quickly. I don't know. But a lot of things are up in the air, shifting around now. And I really didn't want to be in that part of the world. Nobody knows how quickly the negative effects of global warming are going to happen, but water's becoming more and more of an issue in China. You need so much water and so much energy to produce so many goods for a global consumer culture. And Europeans consume made in China like crazy. It's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. And there's no way you can just will it away. We're all complicit in this thing of ours in the 21st century. And a lot of changes are going to have to happen. They're systemic and structural. So yeah, think about learning a little bit about structuralism and systems theory and complexity theory and so on. Because it's things we need to know now because we have to do difficult things. But of course, maybe it doesn't matter to you because you can make your truck payments and you can go to the Super Bowl or have your Super Bowl party and your TikTok and whatever. Whatever makes you excited. So maybe you don't care, that's okay. The kids will figure it out. The billionaires will sort it out. Maybe that's just the way it is. And it doesn't matter. So if there's nothing I can do about it, I'd rather be here in Portugal where things are simple. There's less of a sense of a perception of inequality, and the culture is more coherent. You don't have Republicans and Democrats spinning stories about one another, how evil they are. Each side, against the other. And it's heroic narrative, right? If you're a Trump fan, then you're a hero. You're trying to save the world from the lies and the stolen election. And that animates your life. It gives your life meaning. It's all these heroic war stories and whatnot. How do you get somebody to see that? In my opinion, you just keep asking them questions, Teach me. Tell me about it. Where did you learn that? What does that mean? Explain the vocabulary. Explain your sources of information. Explain your evidence. Look at those pretty flowers. Teach me, persuade me, sway me. And maybe as you ask questions, they'll start asking questions too, and maybe they'll see it differently because, the owl. There's an owl that lives here in these old buildings. I wish we could do something with. But right now, it's bridge too far, too much work. But this owl lives there, and in the nighttime comes around and makes noise. And there's lots of mice around here. The black cats are always eating mice. They love chomping on some mice. Chomping on a mouse. Look at that little puppy. Jeez. That's coming online nice. So, I love that owl. I took a picture of it once. I was lucky. Another little... Whoa. How about this puppy? Yeah. These trees aren't dead. They'll come back to life. Yeah, so just to put a stop to this ramble. Yeah, try to help people understand their own narratives. You know, maybe there's some questions in their story that they need to figure out, and you can provide them other sources of information. Say, yeah, you might find something out about your story if you look over here, and maybe their story will change, or maybe not. Maybe they're just the cognitive dissonance is too powerful, and they just don't want to believe that their story isn't absolutely right as it comes off Reddit or from somebody's blog. So that's how they used to wash clothing. So that's it, man. Without energy, you would be eating some food, some vegetables, and you'd use that caloric energy to manhandle those clothes. You got the soap and the water and that little washing grid thing, and then you'd hang up the clothes. So people used to wear their clothes a lot more days before they washed them, because washing was a lot of work. So that's the annex that needs to become a film stage, a sound stage, studio. Yeah, so anyway, good luck with that. Enjoy your stories, your Netflix, your Apple TV, and your blogs, and Joe Rogan. But, question the narrative and see if it's really the one that's going to help you live a lovely life. Thank you for listening. Buliam T. Out.